If you want to grow long, healthy hair, the best hair of your life, keep watching because I'm about to give you my tips, my personal experience. This is how I did it. The common sense would be always look at your hair type first, and genetics do play a big role in this, but I see so many people giving advice online, but this is not a one fits all solution. I recently posted a very commonsensical video about when to wash your hair. Some people need to wash it daily. Some people need to wash it weekly. It depends on how much sebum we produce. If we produce sebum rather quickly, you're going to be wanting to wash your hair more often. And that gets me into my first tip. Tip number one, wash your hair as needed, but always double shampoo. The first shampoo gets rid of all the excess oil. So even if you were to use a harsh sulfate shampoo, and when I mean harsh, I mean sulfates are not one size fits all either. There's the Laurel sulfate, there's the Loreth sulfate. The Loreth is a lot harsher. It's a cleaning detergent. There is nothing really wrong with sulfates if they are used in the correct formula and if you use them correctly, meaning get a shampoo with your cleaning detergents and keep that for your first shampoo. I like to use professional shampoo for 1 and 2, but I have done videos where I switched to drugstore shampoo for first shampoo, but I have a very sensitive scalp, so I could not keep that up. If the lauryl sulfates don't bother you, you can use that because all you're doing is getting rid of all that excess oil for the first shampoo. It's the second shampoo when we're really doing all of that beautiful cleansing and we want to prepare our hair to receive the other products. That leads me to number 2. When we are in the growth stage, meaning in the antigen phase, we have the telogen phase. You may have heard of the famous telogen effluvium, which happens when your body is really stressed and you'll have excessive shedding. I did a video on that. I will link that below as well because I did go through that when I went through some traumatic stress. So when your body is going through that, you will excessively shed. But today, this video is about the antigen phase. So you're in the antigen phase, you're in the growth phase of the hair. You should be masking your hair once a week. So we've talked about the good shampoo. You're going to do a supercharged conditioner, which is a hair mask. And if I was trying to grow out my hair, which I was for many years, I would definitely be making sure that I was doing a mask and leaving it on for about 10 minutes. I would be doing the proper application of the hair mask and then leaving it on. And you could even put a nice shower cap on top to give that some warmth so it can penetrate through the cuticle. What we want to do here is keep our hair very moist. Tip number 3, make sure you use a professional leave-in conditioner. Sometimes they're labeled as, 20 in 1 or 10 in 1, where you get a detangler, a leave-in, a heat protector. Just make sure this is a good leave-in because we are replenishing all of the moisture that we lost after we washed it, and we really want to give our hair a beautiful coat. So that's really important too. You're coating your hair at this stage and you are preparing it for the other products because the next tip I'm going to give you is oil your ends, everybody. We need to make sure that our ends are oiled. Now, why is this key to hair growth? Because we will see hair growth here, but we won't see hair growth here. We've cleansed our scalp, we've created this beautiful environment, but our hair only reaches a certain length. That's because it is getting dry, splitting, and breaking off. So once again, you want to use your common sense and you want to use a beautiful oil that is not heavy on the serums, it's not heavy on the alcohols. Make sure you become familiar with the good oils. I love my Olaplex 7. I love my Joico Blonde Life. I do like the Moroccan lighter oil as well. You want to oil your ends so as it's growing, we are moisturizing the bottom. I have heard so many people say, or the ends rather, I just got two or 3 inches cut off the ends of my hair. So this is fresh. These were covered up with the other hair that was attached to it. So now there's holes on the bottom. I need to make sure that these are sealed. No matter how many good products I use and how well I take care of my hair, you're always going to have an open end at the end of your hair. So I always make sure that I oil. I like to oil once every evening, depending on your hair type. Some people may like to have that polished look and oil it during the daytime. Just please make sure after you wash and you do your conditioner and then your leave-in conditioner, you need to make sure that you are oiling your ends. Next tip, when I was growing out my hair, I used to always tell my stylist, I did have long hair when I was younger, and then you go through those teenage years where you chop it off, and I did have some disasters happen along the way in teenage years and early 20s, and I used to tell my stylist, don't cut it, I'm trying to grow it back. And he would always laugh and say, you've been trying to grow for 5 years or 10 years. But the truth is, if you keep getting frequent trims, it's not going to grow. It's a myth that you need to trim every 6 weeks. You keep cutting an inch off every 6 weeks, you're not going to get anywhere. I just got, like I mentioned, the 2 to 3 inches cut off, and I hadn't cut my hair between 6 and 8 months. For the first little while where you're really trying to boost the growth and you're following all of the tips I'm giving you, you don't need to be getting trims. I get trims when I see that the ends really need it. Through wear and tear, of course, you will need a light trim after several months, but just get a light dusting. That's all you need. Just do the minimal and keep the ends nice and healthy, and that's all you need. Okay, next tip. So you want to grow out your hair and you like to color your hair. If you are using bleach during this very pivotal stage, I would say stop the bleach and go to high lift color. Color doesn't take on top of color. So if you have colored hair, the only thing that would lighten it is bleach. So you got to stop that for a while. Now the colors these days are made so much better than they used to be. Like a lot of the high lift colors have built-in protection. A lot of the colors have built-in protection. So does the bleach as well. But I would definitely lay off the bleach if I was growing it out. And I have a quick story to attest to how well this works. So my sister had a few hair disasters, several of them. Essentially, she just kept bleaching it, and they would bleach it every time she asked, and it just kept breaking off. So it was my mission to help her over the last few years, and I got her to stop bleaching it, and she still needed to color it for maintenance, so she just moved over to color. Her hair is really growing in very well. I'm going to insert some pictures. I have her on basically the good shampoo, good conditioner, the mask, and the leave-ins and the oils, and this formula has worked really well for her. She's well on her way to recovery. So styling, no heat. I would say for literally the first 2 weeks that we are going to kick this off, don't heat style at all. Just do a blast blow dry. You'll be okay. It's just for the first couple weeks. After that, you can heat style, but you need to leave. I would say, like, I don't really heat style, guys, but I would leave at least 3 days in between. You cannot be heat styling every day. When I was at the salon a few months ago, I remember this girl came in and she was telling the stylist that she heat styles every single day, and the stylist's face just like dropped. It does so much damage to your hair, which leads me to my next point. Anytime you heat style your hair, blow dry, like even me for my blast blow dries, I always use a dedicated heat protector. What does that mean? It doesn't mean a one in all, the 20-in-1, for example. It heat protects, it detangles, it conditions. No, you need like a Redken Big Blowout. I'm going to insert here a Redken Big Blowout that it also gives a lot of volume. It's a beautiful product, but what I'm saying is that you need a dedicated heat protector when you're going to use any kind of heat on your hair. When you use good products, it won't feel like you have anything in your hair. I'm going to give you my products. Beautiful Pureology leave-in conditioner, an Olaplex 7 oil, a Redken Big Blowout, and I have fine hair and I don't even feel those products in my hair. And I see some nonsense sometimes online that this is sticky or that is sticky or it doesn't work. Do your due diligence and watch all the reviews, because people could be trying to sell you products. I have no affiliation with any products. I'm telling you that the best products that help repair my hair, I'm going to tell you what I used. When I first started you know, with I had bad cuts and then bad color and all this sort of damage, I use the quinoa infused protein L'Oreal. I'm going to insert photos here. After that, I started using Pureology because my stylist at the bar at the back, he was using that. So what does that mean? When you go into the salon, ask them the products they use. You're entitled. You're a paying consumer. You're entitled to ask that. So he got me hooked on Pureology from literally like late teens. And I started off with the purple bottle, which is the hydrate. And now for the last so many years, I use the Strength Cure, the blue bottle. And a little goes a long way because such a concentrated formula, which you will find with a lot of professional products. Canada or US, a quarter. In Europe, you're 50 cents. I'm not sure what this would be like in other countries, but this is basically all you need. Okay, and last but certainly not least, I've done a lot of videos on brushes. I changed all my brushes. I use a very wide tooth comb that's coconut infused. I use tangle teasers. I use wet brushes. This is very important. I always start off a little bit here, then I stop, and then I go to the bottom, and then I go to the rest of my hair. You need to be combing and brushing your hair properly. The reason I incorporate a wide tooth comb, which is more or less controversial for a lot of people, is because my hair is very wavy naturally and very frizzy. So after you wash it, it goes back into its natural state. So it will be very wavy. So you just want to go through all that very gently. I don't brush or comb in the shower. I know for some people it works. I don't like that. The hair is way too moist. But if it works for you and you don't have breakage, do your thing. I like to only t-shirt dry. I know it's a big thing on microfiber towels. When I'm on the salon, of course, I don't bring my own t-shirt, but he's got good towels. Get a good microfiber towel. I t-shirt dry, and then I put it up in the microfiber towel just enough to do my skincare and body care. I don't want to over moisturize the hair so it can get like a wet fatigue or a moisture fatigue, I think it's called, something like that. You can air dry your hair if it dries quickly, but if your hair doesn't dry quickly, you are going to get that overload of moisture. So don't do that. Use your common sense. What I do in the colder months is I literally just blast blow dry. I hope all those tips were helpful, and I think that if you start implementing these right now, you're going to start to see a difference, and then you can lay off a little bit. So you want to start more strict with, like I mentioned, the no heat, being very careful of all of those tips, and then I would just implement them in my daily routine. I have definitely been there, and they have definitely worked. If there's something more specific that you want to know, sometimes I know I get more specific questions, just put them there in the comments and I'll get to them, and then perhaps I can do more videos on them as well. But I need to know if you want something specific. These are the most general, but I think definitely the most commonsensical, the most helpful tips. At least I hope they were. Take care, everybody. I will see you guys in the next one. Bisous.